Yo, what's up, guys? It's KB. Thanks for tuning in to another video here on the Outside the Box Podcast YouTube channel. If you like the content you're seeing from us here, be sure to smash that like button, click the bell icon so you don't miss out on any future videos, leave a comment down below, and don't forget, hit that subscribe button. And now let's get into another original video here on the Outside the Box Podcast YouTube channel.
Welcome into the first episode of Outside the Box Podcast College Edition. This episode of the Outside the Box College Edition, is powered by our friends at 47. Truly the best headwear and apparel in the game, and with their vast collection of collegiate gear, they'll make sure you're repping your favorite college lacrosse team all season long. So use our link in the description to shop with 47 and get free shipping on all orders. When you join the 47 family, just make an account, as it is free to make your account, and start earning points on every purchase you make, and turn those points into free gear. Again, use our link in the description to shop with 47, get free shipping on all of your orders, and join the 47 family ASAP. Shout out to 47 for being a proud partner of OTB College and OTB, and the official headwear partner of Underground Industries. As always, make sure that you are subscribed to the pod on YouTube at Outside the Box Podcast. That's where this show will live. Make sure you're also tuned into Underground Sports Philadelphia and Underground Industries, where Outside the Box, our original podcast, will be held and living at all times. Don't forget to subscribe to Outside the Box follow Outside the Box on all of our socials at OTB Laxpod, and once again, subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Tidal, Anchor, wherever else you get your podcast. We are there. Make sure you are subscribed. That's how we keep this thing rolling. Just because we got to 100 YouTube subscribers doesn't mean we stop there. We're looking to get to 200. Maybe we'll do something cool, like a 47 giveaway at 200 or something like that. Get somebody some college gear for helping us get there. So make sure, if you are not subscribed, you get subscribed. If you are, share it to everybody you know. Get more people in there. We're going to be diving deep into the college realm this year. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Wow, I just realized I don't really have matching socials, so I can't say all of them. Make sure you're following me on Twitter at SCS_NextGreat. You can find my other socials there. If not, follow me, and then we can exchange socials there if you want to find them. Follow our guy everywhere at hootsportmedia.com or hoots.com. Hootsportmedia, and literally everywhere. The man does amazing work with a camera. He also knows a thing or two about lacrosse and some other sports out there. Show him some love. We're trying to get him out there because he's well deserved. And make sure, let me pull his up, even though he's not here. I do have a third nephew. All right, Uncle Deej is here, manning things. That's how I'll always be here. I'm Uncle Deej. It's gonna be fun.
Uncle and the kids.
And then I got nephew Hoots over here, and my other nephew, who is not here this episode, but I'm sure he will be here next time we are around. I want to make sure I get his Twitter handle right, so I'm going to get that information before I say it. But yeah, make sure you're following Underground as well. Underground Industries, which you can find out.
Jack_on_sports.
There it is. Jack_on_sports, also known as Jackie Knight, Jackie Smacky, Smacky Knight, whatever you want to call him. We're cool with it. I'm cool with it because Uncle Deej says it. And what I say goes around here. I know it's going to be bananas. But yeah, he's going to be back. He's going to be here. And, since he's not here, I'm going to not say too much for him, but he is going to be basically our residential ACC guy. That's pretty much what we're going to get out of Jackie Knight this year. He's in a market for a certain ACC team, which I will not spill out myself. If you happen to already follow him on any of the socials, or you get over there and you follow him ASAP, you'll see exactly what institution I'm talking about. But I'll let him dive deeper into that when he introduces himself, when he is back next week. But yeah, this is the College Pod. We are going to be doing this thing for OTB so that you guys don't have 4-hour episodes over there on the main pod. We'll be able to dive deeper into what's happening in the college world over here on OTB College. So that means you're going to get recaps. You're going to get previews. You're also going to get our big-time matchups and what are we looking forward to for the weekend. You're going to hear me talk a whole lot about Adrian and what's happening in the D3 realm around here because, hey, we love D3, and there's one team I will always give the props to, and that's my alma mater. Go Bulldogs. It's a great day to be a Bulldog. Always is. Yeah, and then, I mean, it's just going to be college fun here. Uncle having fun with his nephews, making sure we dive into all the fun things college. So before I dive deeper into who I am as Uncle Deej, I'm going to let my first nephew introduce himself and what he's going to be bringing to OTB College for the next, I don't know, however many years we got this thing rocking.
I mean, the viewers know me, I think. But for those that don't, I photograph for OTB. I talk here for OTB. That's about it. I'm a Denver sports fan, as seen. Except for when we're talking lacrosse, I'm unbiased. But other than that, I can be biased.
It's okay to be biased here as long as we are keeping it.
I mean,
even
look,
across, as long as we are still being critical of said team.
Of course,
then I'm cool with that.
I'm gonna support Denver because that's my local team. I'll shout out Air Force from time to time, but other than that, you're just gonna get very casual takes from me. I'm getting a DJ's backpack, and I'm coming along for the ride.
Is there any other teams that you've done work for in the area or will be doing work for in the area?
Nah, those are our only teams. Actually, now that I'm saying it, I don't know if we have any D2 or 3 teams either. I know we have like MCLA and stuff like that, like club.
Yeah,
but
I know you have Colorado College as far as D3, but I don't know how close they are to you.
I think they're like an hour.
That's the one. Grand Canyon is in Arizona. Like Colorado College is like the one D3 I know for sure is in that area. But yeah, I know it's mostly D1 for you, some MCLA stuff, which I'm excited to dive into the MCLA stuff this year. I think that's going to be really cool.
I am covering Denver's club team this year as well. So
and they're going to have some solid matchups on their roster on their schedule as far as some of the teams coming to town. I know that the MCLA is low key stacked this year as far as like competitiveness, not necessarily like marquee names of who we're expecting to like move on and do great things at the next level, but as far as competitiveness over the last couple of years, the MCLA has only grown. So we have continued that conversation of the MCLA needs to, push toward getting more of these programs in the Division I level. Obviously, that's not up to the MCLA. It's more of Title IX following and how, staying within your restrictions and your laws. You have to abide by Title IX. And until these schools are able to find other programs to then work in a men's lacrosse, this is where we are for a lot of those schools. And I'm okay with it. It doesn't bother me. I think MCLA is a dope option. Like I say it all the time. I really wish I would have decided to play MCLA instead of being a NCAA athlete. Like it was a lot more than what I really wanted to take on. I did it. It was a great time. I'm not saying I don't want to take away that experience or I didn't want to really have it and it wasn't fun and I didn't enjoy it. Like that's not what I'm saying, but I think I would have been better not only in school, but I think I would have enjoyed club lacrosse a little bit more based off my experience with lacrosse before college. I'd only been playing for 2 years. Like it just would have been a better transition and such for me. So speaking of transitions, speaking of lacrosse and me, if you don't know me already, which I mean, a good bunch of you do, because I mean, hello, it's Uncle Deej. I live on OTB. That's where I exist in this podcast realm. But, I started lacrosse my junior year of high school. I played for this program right here, Kalamazoo United, here in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I am now the head coach of said program, so that's really cool. I'll circle back to that. But, yeah, I played my junior year. All I knew was that I could hit people. My very first shot went through the uprights. And I handed out a lot of concussions that year. It was really fun. My season was ended by a concussion as well that year. Like a lot of ups and downs, but it was a fantastic time. And I took face-offs that year. I like my first year was bananas, dog. It was like every part of
They
lacrosse.
said, "Oh, you're new here. You could just do whatever you want.
Just
play
do what
all
you
the
want,
positions.
Please play it all and figure out what you really want to do." And then my senior year, I came back and a bunch of guys had left, and we needed new deep holes. So I picked up a deep hole, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, this is where I belong. I don't want to do nothing else." So I played deep hole in LSM for the rest of my career. I played closed D my senior year, and then I went on to Adrian. I played closed D for 2 years. Then I played LSM for 2 years. Had a really great time there. Awesome opportunities to play against some really good guys. We went and played Dickinson my senior year, 7th-ranked team in the country. Got absolutely demolished. I mean, it wasn't even close, but I had a fantastic
Should be
time.
illegal.
Let me just say, not Dickinson, sorry, Denison. But still, 7th-ranked team in the country. I had a fantastic time because I had a really good game. I played well. It was a lot of fun to go out and play against guys that were that much better than me and like hang around and feel like I was doing good. So like, yeah, that will always be a core memory for me. And then the conference I played in allowed for me to play right here in my hometown. There was Kalamazoo College is in the MIAA as well. So it was nice to play here in college as well. Moved on, came back home. I now work radio during the day, do some sports announcing. Obviously, I have OTB, but I'm also a lacrosse coach for both KU, as I mentioned, my former high school program. And then I also coach Bandits, which is BJ Sports Bandits here in Kalamazoo for travel purposes. I am a Michigan fan of all sorts when it comes to college. They are my main college lacrosse program. I dibble and dabble with Notre Dame from time to time because they are right there. I'm a big fan of Northwestern women's lacrosse. I think that they're basically dominant at this point. But yeah, I'm pretty much going to be our Midwest liaison as far as college and what's going to happen around here. When you think about it, where I am, I can get to Ohio State within 4 hours, right? I can get to Michigan within an hour and a half. I can get to Notre Dame an hour 15. Northwestern is 2 hours away. So it's going to be easy for me to go to those places and watch games. And then that pretty much covers the Big Ten and some of the ACC with Notre Dame. But I'm going to see a lot of Penn State, Maryland, Rutgers, Michigan, Johns Hopkins, that area. So I'll be looking kind of at the Midwest and getting that covered up for us. A lot of ACC and East Coast will be Jackie Knight because of Syracuse and who they'll be playing. And Hoots will be locking us down on the West Coast. So it's going to be awesome. We will be canvassing the country as a whole. We'll be talking D1, D2, D3. Now, when it goes D2, D3, I'll be honest. We're not going to talk as much. D2 is pretty much just going to be super high marquee matchups that we know, kind of like your Pace versus Lenore Rhine, your Tampa versus Adelphi, etc. Those kind of games are the ones that we're going to be looking at to highlight when we talk D2. When we talk D3, we're going to talk the marquee matchups. So we're going to talk the Christopher Newports, the Salisburys, the RITs, the Stevensons, the Union, etc. In that area. But of course, like I mentioned, the dogs will be brought up every single week. So if you don't want to hear about Adrian when I start talking about Adrian, just mute us for a little bit, I guess, because it's going to come up every single weekend. The dogs will be talked about because those are the boys. And I will always shout the boys out. And that's just me being a homer. So you got to deal with it. So yeah, we'll hit marquee matchups, D3, D2. And then D1 will probably, first off, we'll start with the marquee matchups because why wouldn't we do that? And then we'll probably dive deeper into a little bit more of these matchups because we know a little bit more about D1. So what might not seem like a super high caliber game could be a game that we decide to talk about just because we know a little bit more about what's happening in the D1 landscape than we do in D2 and D3. And then obviously, as we mentioned before, we'll be talking about MCLA as well. I mean, we have no reason not to bring up the MCLA and some of the matchups that are happening, especially with Hoots covering the Denver club team. So he'll be seeing lots of that MCLA matchup as well. So that's the idea of what we'll be covering. Obviously, we'll be talking about big boards and drafts and what that looks like, recruiting as we hear guys, taking visits and being signed, and things of that nature, transfer portal toward the end of the year when that begins to come up and guys start talking about hitting the transfer portal. So that's going to be a lot of fun once that comes around. But the schedule and the outlook of what our episodes will look like will be very similar to OTB. I mean, it's going to be, having our intro, making sure you guys have all the information about who we are, where to follow us, how to be subscribed, and getting you into the episode so you can be settled in. And then we're going to go right into the review, the recap of what we saw the weekend before, what we really wanted to highlight, maybe even looking at a game that we didn't talk about because it ended up being a better game than what we thought it would be. And then, really just wrapping that up with a bow on what we saw the weekend before looking ahead into the weekend, maybe talking some big news on who might have gotten injured recently and couldn't be playing, if there's some lineup shakeups, anything like that we hear before previewing some of those bigger games, like we talked about, the marquee matchups across the different divisions. And obviously the games that we really want to talk about before picking our Riverside game of the week, one game that we feel like everybody should be watching, having their eyes on, and really being ready to dive into because it should be a good game. Or maybe it's just a game that is near and dear to us, or a game we might be at, right? Like I might pick, Notre Dame, Michigan at Arlotta Stadium down in Notre Dame to be Riverside game of the week because I'm going to be there. Like, yeah, come you. First off, if you're in the area, meet me there. Because if you know anything about Notre Dame, it's free ticket, free parking. You're just going to pay an arm and a leg for your concessions, which I don't get. So I go and see free lacrosse all the time, and I've spent no money. Like, yeah, meet me there. And of course, I'm going to want that to be game of the week, and so I can talk about it and be excited for it. And so that's pretty much how it's going to go. We're not going to do picks here. Like it's an oversaturated market. Like, we're actually coming to be somewhat of a breath of fresh air. Like, hey, here's a quick snippet of what has happened in the college world over the last week. Here's our reactions to it. Here's how we feel. This is what we think is going to be great this upcoming weekend. Here's the one game we think you guys should watch. Now go and enjoy lacrosse for the weekend. And then we'll come back and we'll do the same thing again the following week. I'm really excited for this. I think there's going to be a lot of personality that eventually comes out, especially with me running the show. You guys get to see me be in control. You have actually never seen that.
He's been on a leash this whole time.
I've literally been held on a leash, and they have had to compose me, and they have now let me loose. So don't you worry. We're going to have a lot of fun here. But yeah, it's going to be a great time diving into the best part of the college game. And also the best part about this is KB now can't avoid the college stuff. He's going to know what's happening at the college level because to some extent he is still involved. A lot of the producing work that's going to go into the show will be done by KB on the back end. So he's going to hear a lot of what is said. He's going to see a lot of what is happening, and he's going to realize maybe I should tune into college a little bit more than I have. So I know about dudes as they're coming into the NLL and the PLL, and I'm ready for what they're going to bring to those leagues. But now that we've gotten through all of the housekeeping, it's time to get into the fun stuff, man. A new year of college lacrosse is coming around. It's starting on Saturday. How do you feel with the season back?
I mean, it snuck up on me for sure. I feel like we were focused on getting to 100 subscribers, and so I was just like, it's coming down the road. All of a sudden, I was like, oh, wait, it's game week. I got my alert to make sure I got my credential for this week, and I was like, oh my goodness. So, I like when it's more lacrosse. It's a busy season for me at least, but it's fun because then you get to see these guys get drafted, a lot of them, and lead into the PLL season. So it's basically lacrosse until actually it's just lacrosse because there's like a 2-month gap after the PLL season. So I'm just happy it's back.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I remember we had gotten to 80 something right before New Year's Eve. And I was like, okay, yeah, like we got a couple weeks. We got plenty of time. We'll be able to get there and then like be able to plan everything and figure it out. And then like last week he was like, yeah, we still need like 7 more. And I was like, we got a week, dog. I don't know. This ain't really working out. And
Hey,
here
I
we
got
are.
Jesse was pumping it though on Twitter.
Hey, shout out my homie Jesse. Bro worked so hard to help us get here. We appreciate the help 100%. I think he wanted us to get here more than we did. Like every time I looked up, he was putting out a tweet asking people to subscribe to the channel so we can get this OTB College thing going on. We might have to bring Jesse on for an episode. That might be the vibe one of these weekends is to get him on and all of that. But you're right. We got lacrosse for a long time, man. Like we have lacrosse outside of a few bye weeks worked in for the Winter Olympics. We have lacrosse every weekend until the 3rd week of September. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I could live for that. Absolutely, I could. Outside of a few bye weeks. And then, we have a month and a half break.
Yeah.
Before we're back talking about NOL training camps for the next season to start. This is heaven. This is what we've been asking for years as lacrosse fans, is a place for us to basically have lacrosse synonymously run throughout the entire year. A 2-month break is like perfect. That's all we need. That's literally all we need. It's a nice reset, a chance for us to focus on other sports for a little bit and just remember like, hey, yeah, I do kind of like basketball, which shout out to my Detroit Pistons for first in the Eastern Conference, sitting atop of the NBA power rankings. Nothing major happening over there or anything. For first NBA All-Star starter and All-Star coach since 2009 with Flip Saunders and Allen Iverson. Cade Cunningham and JB Bickerstaff might be pretty good. I don't know. But, I'm excited for what this season has rolling around. You're, like you said, going to be a busy man. Shutter speed going to be at, what? 1 out of 33,000.
Man, I wish it would go that fast. That'd be so wild. I would I already take too many photos as is each game. I would be at I'd be maxing out an SD card.
Yeah. But you're going to be out there left and right snapping photos. I think, what'd you say you have this weekend? Four games this weekend?
Yeah, I got 1 Friday, 2 Saturday, 1 Sunday.
Full schedule.
I don't have a plan yet. I don't know how I'm going to get everything out. I'm just going to send it all to KB. Like, hey, post this. After the weekend, I'll go through and edit the rest of mine because I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, I don't envy you. But it's a fun problem to have. I can say that.
Yeah. The thing is, I've always told myself, it's a privilege to be tired doing something you love and something fun. So it'll be a lot, but it's lacrosse. So it's not really, a bad thing. I'd rather sit there and watch it live at least and know what's going on. And like we said, the MCLA, they got some dogs. When we went to scrimmages during fall ball, there are some teams and some guys that I'm like, how are you not playing somewhere? But
exactly, because they just don't want to. That's where they want to be.
Yeah,
is at the MCLA level, not because they can. It's just where they want to be. But I guess as we get into this weekend, I guess we can start with where you're gonna be. What college games you got this weekend, and what are you looking forward to seeing in those matchups?
Yeah, I'll be at Denver Cleveland State on Saturday. I think it's 2 p.m. Eastern time, I want to say it is. I will not be at Air Force, unfortunately, but I will try to watch that game as well because I know they got some roster turnover and stuff that I'm kind of interested to see what happens. Obviously, losing Josh Yago to Notre Dame's a bit rough, but other than that, I'm just going to try to watch as many of these other games as possible. Maryland, Richmond, obviously, I think is going to be a good one. I don't know, Georgetown, Loyola. Couple weird ones as well that I might tune into if I can, just because it's the first weekend of lacrosse, you might as well. But we'll see how much live action I can watch. Hopefully, it's not all behind a paywall this year.
I can totally agree with you on that one. Paywalls drive me up the wall. Flow Sports, BTN Plus, etc. Like, we got to get away from that. First off, in the game of college lacrosse, like, why are we forcing people to pay to watch college sports in the first place?
A sport that needs eyes on it as well.
Now, it's one thing if you're on a streaming site where people get other benefits for using that said streaming site, but to make people go on specific sites to then pay to watch you play is asinine. And you're wondering why the game isn't growing. That's part of the reason why the game isn't growing. People like college sports more than they like professional sports. They feel like college sports are more authentic, more real, more like fundamental, and like, hey, this is about the game. We're going out to play for the love of the game, and like, it's being done right. And now people aren't even seeing the done right part of lacrosse because you want to put it behind a paywall. Let's get away from that, please. And if it's going to be behind a paywall, it better be the best damn stream I've ever seen.
Yep.
I know that much. No more of this up in space watching on BTN Plus. You got me paying $15 a month to watch from space? I don't think so. I'll rather just scoreboard watch at that point.
Yep. I've done that before. I've turned on a game, tried to watch it, and been like, I can't even tell where the ball's at, and switched it. I'm like, what's the point?
What's the point of watching a game like that?
Yeah, I like I said pre-pod, that or the random people standing on the sideline like shaking the camera as they're like trying to hold it up. I'm like, this is not. There was a Rutgers game I was watching last year that I literally had to like look away because I was getting like motion sick trying to watch this cameraman like hold it still.
Nasty. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, and I'm looking at the MCLA schedule for this weekend. There's some great games coming up. I mean, some divisional play getting started right as this season opens up. Florida State and Central Florida are going to play each other. Florida and Clemson should be a huge game on the 30th at 7 p.m. Wyoming and Denver, which you mentioned you'll be at, that should be a lot of fun this weekend.
I think they also play Air Force Sunday, I think, is their second game, actually.
Yeah. I saw that later on down here. Nebraska, Creighton, and Iowa State are running a try with each other this weekend. Yes, because Wyoming and Air Force also play each other this weekend. So I would assume that Air Force and Denver are going to play on Sunday. Baylor and SMU is going to be a fantastic game. Tennessee and Florida will also be a great game. LSU and Central Florida, Oregon and Stanford. And then Sunday, like you mentioned, Air Force and Denver are going to battle against each other, divisional play. Tennessee and Clemson are going to play in some divisional play. High Points club team going to ball against Appalachian State. I like this weekend. Oregon State and Grand Canyon. There's a lot of really good matchups this weekend for MCLA. So if you happen to catch an MCLA stream, a lot of those end up being free. Check that out. I'm really bummed that I didn't see Liberty up there this weekend, which a lot of Liberty games end up on ESPN Plus. Very easy way to watch some pretty high-level MCLA lacrosse. They tend to play Clemson, South Carolina, Florida, those really good SEC schools. And a lot of times they come out victorious. Georgia Tech, I've seen them play. I've seen them play Virginia Tech, Virginia. They look well. They look good. They have their own facilities out there. Liberty does a great job with all club sports, let alone just club lacrosse. MCLA should be great this weekend. Headed into the Division I ranks. As you mentioned, you said you're going to be out at that Denver game. Anything else popping out at you week 1 for week 0, I guess?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, week 0 for Division I NCAA men's.
I mean, just like I said, the Maryland, Richmond, Georgetown, Loyola. I mean, the rest, it's lacrosse, so I'm not complaining. But again, it is week 0 at the same time. So, like, I want to see some of these teams play. Providence, when I watched them here last year, I was pretty impressed with them. I would like to see what they do this year. Schools like Utah, Delaware just intrigue me because I don't think they're like as talked about necessarily compared to, the big lacrosse schools. So like that type of stuff's exciting. Obviously Hofstra playing. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
And Utah's are they in the Big East with Denver, or are they in the Patriot with Air
That's a good
Force?
question because these lacrosse conferences are like,
They're so different.
yeah.
I always forget like where they are. Like sometimes, like some schools I know very, very clearly where they are, and other ones it's kind of like, are they here or are they there?
Yeah, they're in the ASUN.
Okay, they're in the ASUN. See, I was wrong completely. But I mean,
Yeah.
they've done well in the ASUN, and they've been conference semis or conference championship basically every year.
Yeah,
out
they were
in the
4-1
ASUN.
in conference play last year.
Yeah,
Six
like,
and 9 overall, but they dominated in conference play.
yeah, and you could say the same thing about Delaware, who has been very good and near the top of their conference the last couple of years as well. Like that matchup is one that I see a lot of potential for to be a better one of the weekend. I think Rutgers and Jacksonville. When you look at what John Callaway has done with Jacksonville since he's gotten there the last couple of years, and the teams that they've taken down early on in the season, they've made it to the NCAA tournament, and the standard has consistently grown at Jacksonville. If you want to go down there and be a Finn, you got to play at a certain level. And they continue to bring that level and then raise it the following year. So I'm interested to see what their matchup against Rutgers looks like, because if they're going to follow that trend of raising that standard and that bar again another year, that's going to be a fantastic game that they're going to have against Rutgers. And they're playing that game at home. So Rutgers has to do the traveling. Rutgers has to be in a humid, hotter environment, especially with the weather in Rutgers right now, which is extremely cold in Piscataway, New Jersey, compared to what you're going to get down in Florida. All of those factors kind of play into this. So I think that has a fantastic chance of being a phenomenal game this weekend. Obviously, I'm going to have my eyes on Mercyhurst in Michigan. That's just me being a homer. UMass and Army West Point should be a fantastic game. High Point and Navy also have eyes on them as always. Tons of Duke fans will have the Bellarmine game circled. They know kind of what these early season games have done to Duke in the past. Is everybody going to overreact if Duke loses to Bellarmine? Yes. Should everybody overreact if Duke loses to Bellarmine? No.
I don't know.
But that's what we do, right?
We should always overreact. Week 0.
we saw Duke lose last year early in the season to, I believe it was Richmond. It was either Richmond or High Point, and which they have done consistently the last like 8 years. They lose to someone crazy early in February, and the whole world goes, "Oh my God, Duke lost in February. They're not good. They're not going to do anything. They're not going to make the NCAA tournament." And then here we are in May, and Duke's in the Final Four. And I'm like, what was all that y'all were talking about? Here we are. The same thing as always. Duke right where they always are, fighting at the end of the year for a national championship. And then, as you mentioned, Maryland, Richmond, and Georgetown, Loyola, big matchups for the weekend. Also, as far as what is coming up later this weekend, you got Syracuse and Boston U, which I believe, if I am not mistaken, is one of 2 ranked matchups for the weekend. I believe Maryland and Richmond is the only other ranked matchup of the weekend. And then I know that Syracuse and Boston U are both ranked, so I know that's going to be a ranked matchup. Colgate and Penn State also play on Sunday. North Carolina and Towson play on Sunday. Ohio State will welcome in Detroit Mercy, and Air Force will play Lafayette. So a lot of teams in action to start week 0. Now, it's something I'm used to seeing is like I feel like last year there was only a handful of teams. I think there was only like 5 games maybe that played in week 0. This year, everybody said they want a piece of the week 0 action. I'm here for it. I think it's better when we have more teams playing as early.
That's
as
how
possible.
it should be.
Like I'm along the lines of like what the MLB does. Everybody plays on opening day. That's the point.
I mean, you had all off season to rest and get ready. Like there should be 0 bye weeks.
Also, like the way I see it is, it's called opening day / opening weekend for a reason.
You know,
Everybody plays because it's the opening of the season. What are we doing?
and when you play a sport that is based like around rankings, you got to have everyone playing so that way you can at least come away from it and be like, this makes sense 1 through 20. Instead, it's like some years it's like you said, 5 games, that's 10 teams. Like how are we supposed to rank these guys then?
Right, or they throw out their preseason rankings and then they just roll with them for like 4 or 5 weeks because not everybody hasn't played consistently until week 5. Like, that's dumb. How about we make everybody play consistently and then you can rank people consistently? Isn't that what rankings are for?
It's like I swear the NCAA just rage baiting us.
They do. They have to at this point.
They know what's happening. They know it gets people talking, and
like they just do the things they do on purpose. Like, look at everything happening with the NBA and college basketball right now. Homies are literally like going back from playing in NBA games to go and play college basketball. Like, technically, with what's happening right now, LeBron James could go play college basketball because he never touched foot on a college campus.
Dude, after he retires, if he did that just to like stay in shape, that'd be so funny.
It would be insane. It would be insane. Could you imagine the NIL he's pulling in as LeBron James?
They give him the keys to the school, but I guess yours now. You could just...
It would be insane.
Whatever.
Or just imagine, like, if that could happen, like, PLL-wise. Or, like, you know, and I guess more so NLL-wise. Like, some of those guys don't play college lacrosse. They just play juniors.
Well, I mean, they got Clark Peterson playing in that weird, like, Canadian college league that somehow he's allowed to play in.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What if all those dudes just went, you know what? Maybe we do want to go play a NCAA college lacrosse. And now they're 28 playing college lacrosse against 19-year-olds. Like, that's insane. And they've been playing in the NLL for 5 years already. Like, what are we talking about? I just really hope lacrosse doesn't get to that level, but, like, you never know with the NCAA. But you made a strong point. There are a lot of teams playing in week 0, and I feel like the preseason rankings will then be adjusted accurately based off of the amount of teams that are in action in this first week.
Yeah, I mean, right now everything's a guess. Like, that's why I didn't chime in when everyone was doing their preseason rankings, because I'm like, I got to see these teams play. Like, we can guess all we want. Obviously, we know teams like Syracuse and Maryland and all them are going to be at the top, at least in our minds. But, like, what happens if they come out and you know, drop? What if Boston U upsets Syracuse week 0?
Right.
You know, like that type of – that's why I'm saying every team should be playing that first week, because these types of games later on could actually matter. You know, if teams drop early games, like something that comes back to bite you, and, you know, we don't get to see that if it's, like you said, 5 games in 1 week and then 10 games the next, and like.
Yeah, it gets really weird when everybody isn't playing all at the same time. Hopefully they'll figure that out soon. Do you have anything in the D2 ranks that pops out at you this week? I know you don't watch a ton of D2 lacrosse, so it may go right over your head what's happening there, but I don't know if anything screams out at you right away.
Hang on. I'm trying to use the NCAA's awful calendar system here.
Their website is just the hardest thing to navigate sometimes. Like,
I mean, I'll be honest. The only one I'm taking note of is that Tampa's playing Newberry. I'm looking at these other ones.
That's on Sunday.
That's about it.
Yeah,
there's a good amount of teams playing D2 though, but
yeah. You have Tampa and Newberry, which is like the only big matchup I see. I mean, UND and Lenore Rhine will be great.
Tampa
on
plays
Saturday.
Twice, actually.
Yes, Tampa plays Friday, but their Friday matchup, Florida Tech, they're okay. I actually have a homie who does face-offs down there. So Carter Bat Dog, do your thing this weekend. Give them a run for their money. Make Tampa earn it down there. Florida Tech, do your thing, but. I do think Tampa will come out on top of that game. And I think Newberry is a little bit bigger of a matchup for them in the weekend. Barton and Coker will play UND and Lenore Rhine. They both those matchups are on Saturday. And then, as you mentioned, the Sunday matchup, the big one is Tampa and Newberry. And then also coming up on Sunday is the coaching debut of none other than John Grant Jr. at the collegiate level, taking over Lise McCray. As we know, he'll take on Alabama Huntsville on Sunday in his first game as head coach at the NCAA collegiate level.
Hey, maybe that's my D3 team right there.
Right,
or D2 team. I mean, if Junior's there.
Yeah, Junior's there. That's where he's coaching.
I forgot that he got hired there.
Yeah, yep. He got hired there and is taking over that program, so he's going to have them in his back pocket. They also play next Friday, too. Oh, did I just say next Friday? Yeah, we have time to talk about that before next Friday. Okay, ignore me. Getting used to this hosting thing, y'all.
This is week 0 for us, too.
Man, this is week 0 at a premium for y'all.
Yeah.
We are here. I know you probably know less about the D3 ranks than the D2. Is there anything D3 that pops out at you at all?
Nope. I mean, I know Salisbury, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to read some of these. I mean, some of these names. I'm like, how did you guys come up with this for your school? There's only what, 6 games? 5 games?
5 games. We got Salisbury in action against Eastern. Pfeiffer will take on Rhodes. Elizabethtown against Christopher Newport. You got Southern Virginia at SCAD Savannah, and LaGrange against Centenary. Sorry, I always say that one wrong. I feel so bad, so I always say it 3 times after I mess it up. But yeah, that's who's in action for this weekend for D3. Adrian's got some time off. I actually don't need. Adrian might play on the 7th. I'm gonna look at the schedule for the 7th real quick, which I think that may be like the true.
They don't play on the 7th.
7th is pretty much week 1. They don't play on the 7th either, but that's pretty much week 1 for D3. I'm seeing a lot more teams show up. Kalamazoo is going to play Wilmington. Our boy Scotty Keene is going to take on RPI. Those boys out there. A lot more teams getting in action. Grove City and Salisbury, which is going to be a huge game next week. Stevenson and Ohio Wesleyan should be good. Kenyon and Transylvania. Do you want to know the nickname we had for Transylvania when I played?
Is it going to get you canceled?
Yeah.
Then no, I don't.
Well, no, I don't think it'll get me canceled, but like we did call him Tranny. Transylvania, Tranny, like it just was easier to say than saying Transylvania all the way like out. Just we play Tranny this weekend. And like I really think that was just
I mean, in that context, I don't think that it's cancelable.
And I think that was just like a school-wide thing, like because like at the Division III level, like a lot of sports are playing the same schools because like proximity, like you're only traveling so far at the Division III level, you know, like in Transylvania, that's far travel for either one of our squads. That's 5-6 hours. They're all the way down in Kentucky. We're up in Michigan, you know, so like that's one of the longer travels for either of those squads, but like everybody around campus knew who Transylvania was, so we all just referred to them as Tranny. So it's like, oh yeah, we play Tranny this weekend, and like it wasn't like you're playing what now? Like everybody just was like, oh yeah, you're playing Tranny. Like it was just very normal. But then like I looked back and I was like, we probably shouldn't have been calling them that. It is what it is.
They say that for transition in the NLL.
Yeah, that's true.
So
all the time they do.
As long as it's not in an offensive way, I think it's fine.
It's really dope to me that a lot of the teams that are playing in week 0 are playing in week 1. Elizabethtown, Eastern, Pfeiffer, SCAD Savannah, Southern Virginia, Christopher Newport, Salisbury are all playing both week 0 and week 1. Centenary is also playing in week 1 after playing in week 0. So like if you start off playing in week 0, don't skip week 1. You already have a leg up in the fact that you played one extra game than everybody else when you get into week one. Keep that momentum rolling. Keep that extra game in front of everybody. Use your bye week at the end of the season to actually heal. You know what I'm saying? Like, take advantage of that bye week later on in the season, or maybe you put it in the middle to give yourself a nice little like short break in the middle and be like, all right, let's breathe for a second. Let's relax. Let's, get ourselves together. Take advantage of this early season time to play as many games as you can and figure out your first, second, and third line. Figure out your attack. Figure out, what systems are going to work for you, who your go-to guys are. Like, take advantage of this time. That's what it's there for. You've done an amazing job setting yourself up for that. So you definitely should take advantage of that and do it. Anything you got? Women's game, D1, D2, D3, regardless.
Let me pull it up. Hang on. I wish I could just click on it like at their same website.
Man.
At NCAA, if you're listening, please fix that.
Please make your website so much more navigable.
Right. All right. So, I got the women's D1 pulled up.
Mm-hmm.
Princeton and Army on, was that Saturday? And then Dominican, California.
Yeah,
wow, there's 2 games for them this weekend?
I think but I don't think Dominican plays D1 out there for women's. I think that's a scrimmage. I'm not sure though. So don't quote me on that. But
you may be right, actually.
Those are the only 2 games for women's this weekend too. It looks like they're their real official week 0 is
I'm trying to
7th.
see.
There's a lot more going on the 7th. The 7th, you got John Hopkins and Liberty, Florida and Loyola, Maryland, Pittsburgh and Ohio State, North Carolina, James Madison, Vanderbilt and Clemson, UConn and Drexel, Penn State and Richmond, Arizona State and Oregon. There's a lot more going on the following weekend, so maybe we won't talk a ton about women's this week. Wanted to try and give them a shout out. Yeah. Oh, Dominican is D2.
I was going to say they're not East.
I switched over to the D2 tab, and that's the one game for Saturday or for the 31st in D2.
Wow. I mean, good for them. I mean, for their sake, an upset would be sick.
Wouldn't it? St. Leo and Newman will play on Tuesday. West Virginia Wesleyan and Greensboro will also play on Tuesday. Ursuline and Capital will play on Wednesday for D2 women's lacrosse. Not a lot going on women's lacrosse. Pitt, Bradford, and St. Vincent are playing on Wednesday, but I believe that's a scrimmage for D3 women's, and then they'll get going again later in the week. So, yeah, not a lot happening in the women's game early on. I don't know what that's about, but with that being said, it's time for us to do the one thing that we want people to pay attention to this weekend, and that brings up our homies over at Riverside. Our Riverside games of the week are powered by, you guessed it, Riverside. We made the switch to Riverside a couple months ago as a company. It has changed our entire productivity level on its head. From enhanced audio quality and episodes, easy to use editing tools, including a built-in editing bay for all of our shows on the network, and the fastest way to cut clips, segments, and funny moments for all of our shows. Plus, is an absolute bargain compared to the competitors. Use our link in the description to get your podcast, webinars, or video projects looking and sounding pristine with Riverside. Hoots, what's your Riverside game of the weekend?
I'm going to go with what I think is probably the most obvious pick, but it's week 0, so I'm going to get away with it. I'm going Maryland-Richmond. I think with Maryland being ranked 1 in the preseason top 20, like those types of teams, I'm going to have my eyes on because it's like you kind of got to prove it right away, start to finish. And then obviously Richmond is ranked 10th as well. So top 10 matchup to start the year is always fun. And I think there's some other good ones, like we mentioned earlier. But if I have to pick one, I'm tuning into Maryland-Richmond.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a sneaky pick here. I'm gonna go Rutgers and Jacksonville. Rutgers has had a lot to prove, and they're kind of dragged themselves out of this hole that they've built in the Big Ten, where they fall into the bottom of the Big Ten and have to find their way back to the top of the ranks. A lot of guys with a chip on their shoulder there feel like they missed out on some opportunities, and guys kind of didn't really give them the shot that they deserve. So I really like the attitude they're going to be coming into the year with. But at the same time, they're going down on the road, like I mentioned earlier, with those factors that go into that game, to Jacksonville to play a very well coached team led by John Galloway. So that plays a factor into that game as well. I think it's going to be one of the best games of the weekend. Might come down to a couple of possessions late in the fourth quarter. And that's really a game you guys should be tuned into. Like you said, a lot of really good games this weekend. I think Navy and High Point is another game to keep on the docket, is one that'll be worth watching. Also think, as we mentioned, Utah and Delaware, where they are in their respective conferences and how they've played recently, is a game to watch. UMass and Army West Point should be one that you have your eyes on as well. As far as the Saturday slate, when it comes around to Monday or Sunday, there is just that Boston U and Syracuse game that I would put right at the top. But I wouldn't have Colgate and Penn State too low. We did see an upset last year. I think Colgate upset Penn State last year early on in the season, so that very well could happen again. And then Townsend and North Carolina being down in that DMV area, things are going to pop off over there as well. Any parting thoughts before we close out this first episode of the OTB College Show, nephew?
I got nothing. Glad the lacrosse is back. Hopefully the Pios win. And next time we talk, they'll be 1-0.
I mean, I'm not too worried about Michigan playing Mercyhurst this weekend.
I mean, it's all week 0, so it's, But we've seen crazy things happen. And
hey, we have seen wild things happen.
It's lacrosse, There's a lot of things that could come, like you said, could come down to a possession or two, and all of a sudden there's a bunch of upsets. So
I 100% agree. A lot of things could happen this weekend. We gave you guys our Riverside games of the week with Maryland and Richmond coming from Hoots. You got me coming in with the low-key Rutgers Jacksonville. We gave you guys plenty of other options to watch. We'll dive in next week, talking all things happen, MCLA, D1, D2, D3, men's and women's, giving you our share of what we thought was the most important, what we see coming up, and everything in between. Once again, make sure you are following the pod everywhere on all socials at OTB Laxpod. Make sure you are subscribed to us on YouTube. That's Underground Industries, Underground Sports Philadelphia, and Outside the Box Podcast. This podcast, the college version, will live on Outside the Box. You also have Outside the Box, which will have our full episodes for our pro show. We also will have interviews that will live on both of those channels with college and pro athletes, etc. And then you have Underground Industries, which is the overcapsulating business for us, where you'll see tons of content for all different shows over there. Make sure you are following us on the Twitter machine. SCS_next great for myself. Hoots at Hoots Sport Media. You can also catch all of his other socials at that same tag. You can catch my other socials on Twitter after you follow me there. With that being said, that is episode 1 of Outside the Box College. That name is a work in progress. We are not sure if we're going to stick with that. It may be something else the next time you hear from us a week from today, or it may be that same thing. We do not know yet. But what we do know is we thank you for throwing us out there, getting us to 100 subscribers, and keeping this thing rolling so we can get this college thing to you, and for listening to us on this episode. So enjoy our first weekend of college lacrosse. Check out 47 as they sponsor this episode, and will sponsor every single other episode. Get your college gear there because they have tons of it. And if you got any type of webinar, podcasts, or other content, check out Riverside as well, as they do an amazing job with everything there. We're going to be back next week talking more college lacrosse. For Hoots and Uncle Deej, this has been OTB College episode number 1. and we'll catch you later. Peace.
Peace.
Oh, wait.